Metro County Board of Supervisors to order. Have an agenda here for approval. Any additions, changes?
The letter from the DNR.
Okay. For the Jim Koenig's Anderson Finisher Farm site.
Yep.
Okay, we'll add that as item B on the items in the note.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. Mark, do you want to let Kurt go ahead?
Sure.
Sheriff's report for July, amount of $3,906.65.
Nobody has any concerns, so approved.
Okay, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the sheriff's report for July. $3,906.65. Roll call vote, Walk.
Aye.
Oaklander.
Aye.
Morrell, aye. Motion carried.
Thanks, John.
You
That's
bet.
great.
Okay, now we can go back to county attorney general discussion.
I just have a few things. Number one, I'm assuming everyone has seen that letter from Alan Heavens
Yes.
concerning Carlton Salmons. I emailed Carl and said, have you seen that letter? And I haven't had a response from him yet, but I don't think I've ever quite seen a letter like that.
No,
So-
I haven't.
So,
Well, I mean, on that thing, it seems like there's so much disparity between the two of them. Are we ever gonna get this thing resolved to where we're gonna feel comfortable to, you know, these, we need these 28Es in order to participate, to go forward, and yet again,
well, Carlton's viewpoint is taking, he has to assume everything is always going to go wrong. There's always something going to go wrong, and here's worst case scenario, if something goes wrong, here's what could happen. Now you make your decision what you want to do, but at least he's told you what the worst case scenario could be. Now we all know worst case scenario very seldom happens, but if it does, you sure wish you had known about it. You know, as your attorney, I'm always going to say, God, don't enter into these things because Carlton says not to do it, but the practical application is, like I always say, don't do anything and you'll never get sued, but you'll never make any progress either. My personal opinion, I don't have a lot of problems with joining that 28E. That's my personal opinion. That you're aware that things could go wrong and then you're on the hook for everything. I just don't see that happening. But it's possible.
I wish they had a little more defined agenda as to what it is they're exactly going to do. Because I see, and I was telling Stan before the meeting, there was an article in the paper one day down in Cedar Rapids, and they were needing to put in these huge levies now to, you know, and it was gonna cost millions of dollars. And if I read it right, it sounded like, you know, there'd probably be some federal assistance there, but it'd be a 2-to-1 match. They'd give you $1, you need to come up with $2. Now I'm thinking, all these watersheds, to me it looks like, if you stand back, it looks like drainage districts. Well, who pays for it in the drainage district? It's usually
The taxpayer.
taxpayers.
Mhm.
So, and then they all want the authority to do this and that and the other thing, and then, so, but I'd like to hear more as to what their plans are, other than to identify, oh yeah, there's a problem, how do we fix it? What are we going to fix? I mean, but I read through that, you forwarded that on to me, I think it was, and I started going through all those, and I did copy off the letter and then code section 466B and watershed management authorities and I don't know, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just, but I do have some concerns about it before I jump on the bandwagon. I mean, Mitchell County is the largest area of that watershed.
You got the most territory involved.
Right. Yeah, are we going to mandate buffer strips, are you going to? I didn't read anything in their minutes or anything that what they were even planning to do, other than to join, you know, and then
Well,
we'll
my
worry about it.
understanding of the whole thing was that they're gonna take years to do studies. I mean, they wanna basically do a complete study of the whole area of how can we slow the water down. And this is going to be basically a voluntary type of thing, trying to work with landowners to convince them that this is good practice for the landowner and it's gonna be good for the environment. But there's supposed to be monies coming later on in order to carry out some of these recommendations, but to begin with, all they want to do is a study of the whole area of what is possible. Again, I think they'll be looking at, and I could be wrong, but you know, every time Rich comes in, he takes a look at a culvert, and the DOT gives specifications on how big that culvert has to be according to the watershed above that culvert. Well, a lot of those culverts are way oversized, and yet again, the land above there could hold a lot more water back. We're not doing it, and I think that's one of the things that they want to look at is, can they downsize some of these things or put restrictions on to where they hold the water back for, depending on what's above it. In other words, if you have non-farm ground, you know, holding the water back 2 or 3 days is not going to hurt anything. If it is farm ground, holding it back maybe 18 hours, the majority of it, as opposed to 2 hours, is going to, that's the type of thing they're really trying to look at. And because, you know, with all of these drainage districts, the little ones, you know, they basically straighten creeks out and so on to get the water to flow faster. And we're causing our own problems, you know, because of straightening creeks, and we don't have the meandering streams, we don't have the wetlands. And so if there's areas that can be purchased for wetlands and that's what they want to really look at.
Okay. Won't argue, good idea, Stan, I mean, but I'd like to.
And I mean, I really feel we're the biggest part of it. I think we're missing the boat if we're not sitting at the table.
We haven't missed anything if we're gonna be, assess something.
Well, there's nothing in the works.
Water
You know,
goes downhill, all the way I look at it.
I mean, the problem always is people can change something in the future.
You want Mitchell County to be putting levees down in Blackhawk County?
That's not being asked, for,
Well, I
Joe.
mean,
Joe, I mean, anything can happen in the future, I know it can, but that's not being asked for.
but then when you sign on, you're already giving them everybody the authority, you know?
Then you each just have one vote.
Anyway, you just have one vote. 27 entities and 14 says, let's do
Why don't
this,
we-
and
why
13
don't we
says, I don't think it's a
invite,
good idea because it's gonna cost us money, and then all of a sudden,
Why don't we invite Susan Johnston up here and have her go through the whole thing? And
I wouldn't mind that. I don't think she's ever showed up to any of our meetings.
That's all I got on that.
Yeah, I won't say more. I just,
Well,
it just makes me nervous. I mean,
The row crop, you know, doesn't hold the water like the ground used to be when it was seeded down, you know. When I grew up as a kid, and probably you did too, Joel, on the farm, half our farm was seeded down.
Right.
Either oats or pasture, where now every acre is row crop.
we'll go out by the little cedar there at New Haven. You can walk across it and probably won't get your ankles wet, you
Yeah.
know. I remember the drought of '64. I don't remember that river ever being that low. I don't ever remember the Cedar River ever being that low.
Cedar River back, like you're saying, around 64, the water did not flow over the dam at St. Anne's Creek.
Really?
Yep.
How much is going over now?
I don't know, but it is going.
Drip, drip, drip.
Been out there lately.
Well, you're seeing a lot of algae along the shores, and you know, it's just. Yeah, this is kind of hard to talk about flood prevention and drought year,
Well, and
but it could turn around in, you know, 6 months, and we could be
Yeah, I'm mowing my
4 foot
lawn
of
again.
snow and.
But as a kid, and I visited with old Don Byer from Mitchell. I mean, you had all kinds of lily pads and you know, the frogs and whatnot. You don't see any of that, even in the small streams, Deer Creek or the Trout Stream, Turtle Creek, or any of them. I mean, you know, it has to do with the runoff, the pollution.
Next,
Yep.
Anna Salter, is her bill on for today?
Yes. Yeah, I saw it.
All right. This FEH Association, did we want to talk any about that or not?
What do you think?
I just got this yesterday, this August 23rd, 11 a.m. What's that meeting, what's that supposed to be?
To me, it looks like he wants to review goals for success. Review agenda of today's goals, and then have a next steps approach.
Is that for anybody, or is that just for,
That I don't know until I gotta call him back and find
Okay.
out what's going on. I just saw that. And
okay. There's nothing more you need me to do on that?
but I may call you later.
Okay. That Mark Ross contract, you had stated that they wanted some hold harmless language in there,
Right.
and I said, have them get me the language they want, and I'll put it in there.
Yes, and I forwarded that on to her. Didn't she get back what I got?
No. You want to send her another email?
Yeah, I
If
will.
I had her email address, I would, but,
Okay.
Morning. This is just me personally bringing up something that we talked about a year ago, and I think everybody kind of forgot about it, maybe you didn't. We talked about using some of that hotel tax money to maybe put in a cement, where the canoes get in, down by, you know, the public entrances. I don't know if anybody's ever done anything about that. You want to talk to Milt, or you want me to talk to Milt, or
How
are
many
you
would there
saying?
be? Do you know how many?
Well, there's the one on 9, there's the one on T38, there's one up by Mitchell. You know, where you choose to do it's just,
It'd be a good time of year, or a good time to do
this
it.
would be a good time to do it, yeah.
The water's down.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know if there's money available to do it, I don't know if Mitch,
Not very much.
Maybe Neil does something.
Yeah, it'll be more check with Mel.
but I mean, I think, you know, just as a citizen, I don't canoe because I don't like getting my feet muddy when I first get in, so, you know. But I mean, there's a lot of people that do float down that river, and I think they would, you know, if we've got available money from that hotel tax, which is supposed to be used for recreation, right?
Tourism.
Tourism, I think that's a good place to put it. That's
Yeah,
just
not
my
a bad idea.
opinion, not as the
Well,
county
you have two
attorney.
other spots too, and that's one right south of Otrano. And of course, another spot that you get out of then is on 105 at that bridge. And
I think those are all I think the public would like that. I mean, that's just that's Mark Walk talking, not Mark Walk, Mitchell County Attorney.
Yeah, I'll mention that to Milt.
I think it's a good idea.
I don't have any idea how much it would cost. It doesn't have to be anything real elaborate, because you're not backing, speedboats in or anything. Just so people could walk in and put their canoes in and out without getting all muddy. That's all I have, unless anybody has questions for me.
I'm here for Tom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't have anything.
I'm gonna stick around, just listen.
Thank you.
I'm up. My name's Rustin Lingbeck. I work with Tom Madden quite a bit. I don't know, I won't waste much of your time. I'll just go through this real quickly. Sorry.
Four different topics on the agenda here, so.
Well, the last two we're gonna table. Tom will take care of those next week.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be even quicker. First one, just a little bit of an update. The tank guys, Tom's meeting with them today, just a brief meeting. It's not a pre-con. They're gonna schedule a pre-con in the next couple of weeks to talk about how that's gonna work out. Their plan is to start mid-next month maybe, come in and start doing their stuff. And the digger's gotta get going with his foundation work too. The water main, Bob says they're gonna start mid-September to late September. That shouldn't take them very long. It's a few thousand feet. Should go pretty quickly.
How long is it?
I don't know the exact footage.
Oh, I thought you mentioned so many feet.
It's a few thousand feet
Oh, a few thousand.
down to the site. It's not very far. But it shouldn't take them more than a few days, probably a couple of weeks to finish everything up. The plant design's moving forward as best as it can right now. Tom will give you a little more elaborate detail of that next week, just on what's exactly going on. I know he's had some scheduling with some of the equipment reps and stuff, so I'll give you that. With that, I got some other stuff to give to you guys for the pop side. Transmittal. Here's their liability insurance and their equipment rates. And then I have the 3 contracts from them that I need a signature on.
This is for the
Water main extension.
water main extension.
This is what Pop was awarded that
Yep.
Yep.
last week or whatever.
And then I can't remember exactly.
Probably should have a motion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
move
on
to
the-
allow the chair to sign.
It's
Okay.
on the agenda here to
Okay.
approve the
Second.
contracts. Do a motion and a second to approve the contracts for phase 3 work of the water main extension. Roll call vote plan.
Aye.
Walk.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Have they doing any site work on the county part out there yet? That hasn't
It
started?
hasn't started yet. He was in talks with Pops on that. The plan was to start soon too, I'd heard. So I don't know if they're gonna try to coordinate that with the water main, as long as they're on site.
I'm
I'll
assuming
be there.
the site work has to be done before the tanks can go up.
Yes.
Got my signature up here though, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, that's fine, not this one.
Thank you. Again, Tom will be here next week and give you he can give you a more elaborate schedule on what's exactly happening. I know in the next month there's gonna be a lot of things happening moving forward with things. Once those things get started, it'll go pretty quick. Foundations there. They said it doesn't take them more than 10, 12 weeks to get them, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
So, unless you guys have any other questions, I'll be out of here and Tom will take care of it next week.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Yep,
No
thank you very
problem.
much.
Have a good day.
Thank you. See, county engineers here, maybe we can squeeze you in before 9 o'clock here.
Morning.
Morning, Rich.
We have, our last pipe is going up for timber, it's supposed to be Thursday yet. I haven't heard any other news other than it's gonna be Thursday.
You got 2 pipes already.
2 are in, yeah.
One more coming.
Yep. They just had, I think they've only got 2 trailers, or one guy actually that's hauling for them was actually out of Carroll City, they were trying to get him to come back.
we're about 3 weeks away from finishing the rock run up. Once we get the rock run done, we'll get that AMZ machine out and get some patches going on some of
So you
these.
got 3 weeks left?
About somewhere in there,
Somewhere in there.
out of Dino yet, and then we'll get that squared away. Working on the annual report, that's due the 15th of September, I think it is. So, been finishing that up. Got the blades out, got the mowers out. I do have one thing for you guys to sign. With any, with all of our BROS projects or STP, farm to market, anything that's got federal funding in, like last time, the DOT charges us for the testing that they do to do quality assurance on materials. For the bridge south of St. Ansgar, that's a bill of $5,715 for material testing. For the STP project, which is down by the New Haven area there, that's about $1,300 for testing. For the FM farm to market project, we had to calibrate the plant. That was only a $279 bill. And all this money gets transferred out of the farm to market fund, so it's not like we write a check for it. This is just authorization to pull it out of that fund. And then for the Stillwater Bridge down there, that was $887. All I need you to do is authorize the signature, and I'll sign after you're done, and then we'll send it back to the DOT, and they can transfer that money out of the account.
Do you need a motion on this?
I don't know if we really need a
Second.
I have a motion and a second to allow the chair to sign the material inspection costs for DOT. Roll call vote. Walk.
Aye.
Bullfinder.
Aye.
Brown, aye. Motion carried.
Other than that, we're waiting for some locates on some signs yet over by Stacyville. I had heard some different signs over there by St. Ansgar. We put up a limited sight distance one, but we had found a better diamond sign that said hill blocks visibility or something like that to kind of give people a heads up. So we're gonna put some different ones up. I think it might be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Those other ones are kind of small and they just say limited sight distance, and so we were looking through the book after we got those other ones, and these other ones maybe kind of spell out what's going on there. So we're gonna change those out. We haven't gotten a specific date Grout Scouts are coming in yet. We've got some pipe along that 365th, 370th there between Statesville and McIntyre we want to get fixed up. We have a swath of pipe on the county line yet from Riceville south that are really bad, and it's going to be a larger slug of money. The bottoms are all rotten out on this pipe, and the road's pretty good yet, but we need to get, I think this is something we'll look at next spring here, is trying to budget some more of those repairs. I gotta talk to Howard County too. I can't find an official 28E agreement between any of the counties. Between Mitchell County, I can't find a specific 28E between Mitchell and Howard. Floyd County has one they were gonna send me. I can't really find one between Worth and Mitchell either. They've gotta be on file somewhere, but we don't have any in the office to look back, because I think some of these specify that if it's new construction, if it's new construction, you pay 50/50, and I thought on some of the other ones, if it's maintenance over $10,000, then you share the cost too. And if we do pipelining and things like that, it's gonna be a lot more than that.
Check with the recorder's office. Those
That
are
was my
supposed
next-
to be recorded.
That was my next step.
Unless they were entered into before the code required that.
Pardon me?
Unless they were entered into before the code required that.
The only 28Es I see are the 28Es for the Iowa Service Bureau, to sign up for that kind of thing. But other than that, do you have anything for me that you noticed? I know we had some signs down on 105 from over the weekend. We had a swath of, no passing zone got hit between Carpenter and St. Ansgar, and we had a couple stop signs down, so.
Oh, 105 is getting bumpy.
Yep. That's on that list when that grinder comes in to overlay and grind.
Had a call from Joe Marsden, the weed commissioner,
Mm-hmm.
temporary. Said he'd like to volunteer for next year, be our weed commissioner. It's all done for this season. Do you have a loader tractor up there that
We do.
use temporarily? We've got a big window air conditioner on at County Care. Needs to come out.
Oh,
We just thought if you could right up there and push it on and.
yeah, we've got that John Deere, we got the loader bucket on.
Well,
I don't think we need to take the big cat out there for
No,
an air conditioner.
no,
Yeah, we've got that little loader.
But it's, it's like one of them 28,000 BTU numbers.
Oh, okay.
It's gotta come out of there, and if you could coordinate maybe with Dave Harto
Okay.
and, a time that would be good for both of you to.
Yeah, we can get that thing out there. That shouldn't take too long.
You gotta find some plywood to fill up the hole first and stuff like that.
Do they take that out every year?
No, it's gonna come out.
Permanent?
Yeah. Put in a central unit for the kitchen out there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get with Dave and
Okay,
try to schedule that.
I guess I don't have anything else for you, Rich.
Okay.
Everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
Yep.
I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of August 14th. Roll call vote, both times.
Aye.
Aye.
Morale. Item number 10 is approving placing $1,146.90 in the land acquisition and capital improvement fund cans for conservation.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second for approval.
There's the money for the ramps.
Good start, anyway. It might do one of them.
Well, it said capital improvements.
Yep. Here we go. Roll call vote, Walk.
Aye.
Goldfinder.
Aye.
Morale. Aye. Motion carried. Well, it is 9 o'clock. We'll do item number 5, public hearing for proposed Metro County steel or metal wheel ordinance number 46. Had a chance to review that. Open up for public comment at this time.
Maybe first, do you want to have the county attorney explain why we're making this change?
I think it's kind of self-explanatory, actually. Everybody has read the old one, you can read the new one. The new one parallels the state code or ordinance, or state code a little closer. Other than that, there's not much difference.
No, that's what I mean.
I guess for the public information, I know Martha brought it up, that maybe you ought to make a change in the ordinance, and the name has been changed now and so on, and I guess I'm not totally up to date on why it was recommended to make the change. I mean, what will it do that the other one didn't do, except a bigger fine?
All I'm gonna say is that it's likely that this matter is gonna end up in litigation, so I'm not gonna make any comments that could be used against the county. Everyone's gonna have to read the ordinance, form their own opinion as to what it does or does not do. And we'll let the Supreme Court tell us whether it's constitutional or not.
So actually, the change was made because it would probably be going to the Supreme Court, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
When is that likely to happen, or?
Your guess is as good as mine, Betty.
But I mean, it was quite a while ago, wasn't it, that somebody took it under advisement, didn't they, and was that the state or who that said?
Said what?
Well, I don't know. I mean, did they say at one time it was unconstitutional or what? I don't know.
They rejected our first ordinance.
And who was they?
Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court? Oh, okay.
But our second one was still in force until this one, if this one gets approved, that one will be null and void. And,
I guess I just have a question. If there's other farm equipment that damages roads, would there be an anticipation of other ordinances written pertaining to that equipment? I mean, as the farm equipment changes, as it becomes bigger, as it becomes heavier, is there any anticipation that other ordinances might be written addressing other farm equipment?
We have that road, what's that called, road preservation.
Well, actually, can't we civilly go after anyone civilly for actual damages to a road?
It's awful hard to go against any implement of husbandry.
Okay.
Commercial vehicles, yes, but implements of husbandry, very difficult to, because there are no weight restrictions, and I don't think you can place weight restrictions on them. We all know the roads weren't made for as big as they are now, but the law is what the law is on those.
Any further comments? If not, we'll close this.
Mr. Chairman, I had
Do
a
you have
call.
anything?
Yeah, I had Dan Zimmerman called and said he's against the ordinance being presented.
Okay. Morning, Dan.
With
Oh, this
Eli.
This is Eli. Dan's not here today, is he? Gets all mixed up. Anyway,
I guess I would just say that I have concerns too, that other farm equipment might, if we kind of do this with one class of farm equipment, it might impact in the future other farming equipment, and that is, we are a farming community, so yeah, I wouldn't want to see a precedent established where we're sort of going after the means of our economy here, means of
we're
producing
not-
an economy.
We're trying to protect our roads, our hard surface roads. with this ordinance.
Because I've just noticed damage in other areas where there aren't steel wheels just driving around the county, that's all.
So then one other question, the other ordinance was named the road protection ordinance, is that correct, Bob?
I'd have to look at, do you have a copy of it?
No, road preservation.
Or road
Oh, that
preservation?
was a different ordinance completely. That was when the semis up on
Shadow.
Primrose.
Primrose and Shadow,
Rampart.
or Timber, and up around that area, they just continued to haul grain when the roads were soft, and they made grooves that deep. It cost the county, I think, $17,000 or $18,000 to repair the roads. And that's an entirely different.
So this is the same name as the one that the Supreme Court rejected?
As far as I know, I didn't bring a copy of the other one, but it's a steel wheel, metal wheel ordinance.
Okay.
45, I believe, wasn't it, or 44?
44.
44.
I have a question. You said it follows the state code, or it's identical to the state code?
Very closely. If there's no other comments, we'll close this portion of the public hearing on the steel wheel ordinance number 46. Move down to number 6, first reading of proposed Mitchell County steel or metal wheel ordinance 46.
So moved.
I'll second.
Waive any, or you want to?
I don't think we can because we've always had a policy of
All right.
if there's anybody that's protested, we've allowed all 3 readings. I mean, when we have nobody at all that has concerns, we've waived the first 2 readings and went right to the 3rd. But we do have people that have concerns, so I think it would be a bad precedence to waive the first 2.
Okay. Roll call vote, Lot?
Aye.
Wolfinder?
Aye.
Morale, aye. Carried to pass the first reading of the proposed county steel and metal wheel ordinance number 46. Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Okay. Item number 11. Resolution authorizing and approving a certain loan agreement providing for the issuance of $8,180,000 taxable general obligation county purpose bonds, series 2012A. All this stuff here from,
Yeah, that's on three of the paper you got.
down about 3 trees here.
Well, I'll move that we approve resolution number whatever. The issuance of
84412.
84412.
What was it?
84412.
844-12.
The
Second.
issuance of $8.180 million.
Roll call vote. Vote Flanders.
Aye.
I think you said aye, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, I did, aye.
I'm
Aye.
sorry, that's my bad here. Walk,
Aye.
Morel, aye, motion carried. Metro County Care Facility,
You want to go back and do the claims?
I haven't looked at it yet.
No, maybe you want to take a break and do the claims? I
Yeah,
mean, I don't care how you want.
Doesn't matter to me, I gotta look at them quick too, and
I'll do it right after we do this.
Okay.
Look at the claim. The County Care Facility FY 11 and 12 financial inventory report. Everybody's had a chance to look at it?
Yep.
Need a motion to accept it?
So moved.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to accept the Metro County Care Facility financial report for 2011, 2012. Roll call vote, Watt.
Aye.
Wolflander.
Aye.
Morel, aye. Motion carried.
I see in the claims that county care had $1,100 and some of expense from Alliant Energy again, electricity. You know, when you take a look at the little windmill that went up at the house in Riceville, maybe this is something that we should look at some point in time.
No, I talked about that several years ago already.
Yeah, but
May pencil out there.
it may,
I mean, can we get out there? We got kind of area.
Yeah, we got, Bill's got some ground out there too. Yeah, that's a good
so that, I
idea.
mean, that might be something that we,
I'm sure the air conditioning was running pretty much full time the last month or so here. We'll take a little recess and we'll get some time here to look at the claims.
Move to approve the claims.
second, I did have one concern again. I see Ray had $100 and some for copier maintenance, and I don't understand why he needs his own copier. I mean, sheriff has one right down the hall, and he can't be making that many copies that he needs his own copier.
You'll have to ask him. It's a different account, I'm sure, but
Well, but there's ways to keep track of it if he has to. And, you know, you can put down that every time you need a copy, you could have a log there that, if we have to, or something of that nature, but there's no reason he needs his own copier.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the claims. Roll call vote, Wolflander.
Aye.
Watt.
Aye.
Morel, aye. Motion carried. Items of note. Meetings attended.
I had a conflict last week, so I did not make the county conservation one. I just observed there anyway.
Last Thursday, I had a Prairie Ridge executive meeting at Mason City at noon. Just discussed how things were going over there. They were meeting with, I think it was designer and architect on the remodel. And then they're continuing on with their, they call it Anasazi or something like that. It's the medical records, you know, getting this, and they hope to have that up and running by November. Some things are still hard copies, some things are still, are being put on the system, and it's causing, I mean, not causing, but it's gonna be a trying thing anyway, and so that was our meeting there. And then I had to go back at 5 o'clock for a workforce development meeting, and at that meeting, the main item was, there was a gentleman, I believe, from the state there, and what they wanted to know, and they wanted to get together and have a meeting with all the parties about what's needed in the counties for industry, and especially the workers. What are their needs? What is the needs of the industries? And it was brought up that this, I think it was in Franklin or Sukup or whatever, they can't get any welders.
You get any
Welders,
welders?
yeah. Everybody needs welders. I mean, we've
Yeah.
heard it over there at McNeilis and over there in
Thunder Light.
and over there in Garner. And one of the problems he said over there is that they have, is that most applicants that they do get can't pass the drug test, and they can't pass, and they don't have a driver's license.
I know, I've heard that at Winnebago too.
Yeah. So they wanted,
Well,
then they wanted to get into doing some kind of a labor study, and
You missed one there, Bob.
Oh, then there's 4.
Oh, I don't know.
so anyway, that was kind of an interesting meeting.
And I missed one, because I only signed 3.
There's 4 of them, if I missed that.
Then I had an FMC meeting, or few, and all I'll say is that our director resigned, and it's personnel matters.
Here we go.
Yeah, I seen that in the paper.
Other than that, we're still open for business. And will be, and we probably will not be replacing the director at this time, so,
Interim.
yeah.
Well, back to this welding thing, if welding is such a critical aspect, and we seem to have it all over, I mean, you know, here too. Any solutions?
That's what they want to get together and figure out the solutions. I got a couple of them I could throw out to them right away. What is the problem? How many married folks with children want to work 12 hours a day? You know, you want to go to work at 6 at night and get off at 6 in the morning? Well, where's your family life at all? You know, and then another thing too is Iowa's a low wage state. I mean, people that know how to weld, they're going elsewhere where they're going to get paid $20-some an hour. We had one gentleman, this Mark Cantrell, I think was his name. He's represents labor. The iron workers out here at Dallin are making $23.50 an hour. You know, and so, and I'm sure there's welders and those folks out there, but he says it's just it's hard to get anybody that's trained to be a welder. They move on. You know, you can't pay them $14 an hour and think that they're going to work 12 hours a day, 4 days a week for you, and you know, and have no life.
Well, it sounds like there's
Ask-
two different, really
ask-
sounds like though there's 2 different issues. I mean, one is like you say, if a business doesn't want to pay anything, you aren't gonna get anything,
Right.
you know.
You've
But-
always said that your best is your most
Cheapest,
expensive, or
yeah.
cheapest, and whatever.
But the other issue is, do they really have enough schooling offered at NIAC?
No, they don't. NIAC's enrollment's actually going down. That was in the paper the other day.
Put it in the industrial arts.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean,
Yeah, I
The
know
welding?
the enrollment's
I don't know about that, Stan. Overall, I guess I should put that.
Because,
That's what I read in the paper the other day.
you know, if they have a lot more applicants applying for welding training than what they're able to offer, maybe that is something that we're gonna have to really try to put some pressure on our representative
Yeah. Josh?
Of the community college, well, of the community, that would be Gordon Anderson.
Okay. Sure.
Uh,
I mean,
Should they
Josh-
be looking at, if this is a critical thing of all of North Iowa, should they be looking at trying to expand that program? Are they running enough night classes possibly that they can utilize the same equipment? Or could they be running weekend classes in order to, without having to, gain more equipment or something like that? I mean, are they really trying to utilize the thing, at 100% capacity? Are there other options?
Well, here's the other thing too. I know my son works Deere down there in Waterloo, and he was a welder down there. He was trained by Deere. They trained their own. They bring them in, and you do a test, and I think you worked in this lab for a week or so, and they trained you as to how they wanted the welds, and had somebody right there showing them. And at the end of that week, you were in production. I mean, and you knew how to do the job. But aren't these folks, maybe they ought to start training their own, if they, because I know that Corey Edgerling, he had mentioned he'd been talking to these Sukups, and he says, and he had actually seen the problems. He says he's seen welds that were laying on top of the metal. I mean, that weld will never hold anything, you got to have it, down
Right.
in, and it has to be penetrating, and so, yeah, I think there's a lot, and in fact, then they wanted to know what about the industries, and I said, well, gee, one of the best ways to find out about the industries in Mitchell County and what their needs are is call our economic development over there. Brenda meets with every industry in the county once a month, and to talk about these just same issues that they're trying to figure out, So, yeah, and this Mark Cantrell from Labor, he said he did try to get a hold of Josh Burns, but he's never gotten back to him.
Imagine that.
Well, I mean, here's the problem. Here's your state representative, and yet he doesn't return anybody's call, Now, I don't think that's quite right either. But, and this is a problem of all the industries in our area. And we've heard it from McNeilis over there, and when we had that little get-together out at the conservation that night, and, that guy said, we need 9 welders right now. But we couldn't find them. And they were using farmers on the weekend because, and they, I think they were working them 9 hours, 3 9-hour days or something like that and which worked out for them because they could farm during the week and they could have this job during the weekend, but it's basically, you were using temporary help. I don't know. A lot of,
My DCAT meeting yesterday was postponed until next Monday, so. Item B, manure management plan update.
We've got 3 of them. We have Cooper Hog Site 1, owned by Myron and Ross Cooper. Section 17 in Mitchell Township. Tucker Tip 12 Finisher Farm, owned by Select Farms, Section 9 in Wayne. And Wheeler Finisher Farm, owned by Meadow Crossing Farms, Section 25 in Wayne.
Okay, so noted.
I just want to let you know my son no longer welds at John Deere. They got robots to do the job, and so they cleaned it out, and now the robots are doing all the welding. They don't have to worry about driver's licenses and drug tests with them.
Or insurance or retirement.
Well, you make kind of wonder, well, how secure is your welding job if you the next robot comes in?
A big factory like that, yeah, you can have a robot because you're making that many parts and so on, but like you say, after,
But here's the other thing.
But-
They had all these helmets and stuff that had the, you strike the arc and whatever, and automatically goes dark, and all the equipment, it all went in dumpsters, and it was all hauled away to the landfill. They asked if they could buy them, or nope, they wouldn't sell them to them or anything, and this all got tossed.
Right or off?
Yeah.
That's why that green paint costs so much
Yeah,
money when you
yes.
go out here and try to buy one. Okay, I guess we added item C there, letter from the Iowa DNR on notice to of intent to issue a permit to the Anderson Finisher Farm Site Facility ID 67349. According to the letter, everything's in order. The board states the board shall, as soon as possible, not later than 14 days, following receipt of this letter, tends to, I guess we have to,
Did we, to begin with, send in notice to the DNR that we had no negative comments? That's
So
all
this
it
is a
says.
follow-up on that.
Yeah,
Was this the Koenig's one? You didn't have one negative comment.
no, the Board of Supervisors
Oh,
had
you
no
didn't.
negative comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we sent yours in.
Oh, okay.
Your name's on the wall down there now.
Right.
And
Well,
on
like
the
it's in
little
the
dowel
mailer.
with the pin.
I don't know. What do you do? What are they gonna feed these hogs this year? They build this new hog setup.
$9 corn.
Somebody brought an ear of corn in yesterday to the Legion at St. Ansgar that 9.5 inches long, 18 rows,
All filled out.
all filled out.
I think you'll see some. Then you're gonna see some that. there's
And it
nothing
wasn't
there.
irrigated neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hit and miss out here. And the rain is really spotty. We drove over to Northwood Saturday and just 1 mile to the next was a 180-degree difference. So,
No action needed, I would say, but at least we brought it up.
anything else for the good of the cause? Not, we stand adjourned at 9:40.